Welcome to Habit Bliss, a community platform that focuses on conscious transformation through habit development. I'm Joy Fejoku, your resident habit hacker, and in today's video, we're going to talk about how to maintain sanity without sticking your head in the mud. But before we begin, please click subscribe, hit the like button, click bell notifications so that you can be aware of new content as we release it. And don't forget to leave a comment and let us know what you think about what we presented today. Also, let us know what you would like to see in future videos. We will be looking at the comments to determine future content. With that, let's get to the video. Now, this information would be beneficial at any point in time. We have to perform at work, we have to be good friends, and we have to be good to our family, and we have all types of responsibility that will definitely create stress. But in this particular moment, we're living in historic times, and whether we're talking about the pandemic or whether we're talking about politics or racial injustice or the financial crisis, we have a lot going on. And if you're paying attention to the news, the media, really consuming a lot of that information constantly, then you are at great risk of not knowing how to cope the best way that you can, not knowing how to really thrive in this moment. And with this video, I want to share some recommendations that will allow you to better cope and manage your stress. I want you to think about this. Most people are living lives by default. What this means is, without even realizing, they are allowing things into their life without fully understanding the choices that are available to them, the options to move differently in those circumstances. And to dig into that a little bit further, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. These 3 questions will help you gather information that will allow you to know what's truly relevant and important to you in terms of the type of news and information you consume, and allow you to protect yourself by filtering out things that really don't matter and that may even be harmful to your mental health. Question number 1. How important is it for you to consume news and information on a consistent basis? Are you the type of person that places a high value on always being well informed? Or are you the type of person that maybe doesn't care that much about what's going on, the latest and the greatest? Or maybe you don't care at all. Having this information, knowing this about yourself, and how important it is for you to be in the know will go a long way in terms of you building a plan that works for you. Question number 2. How much time do you actually feel the need to spend consuming news and information on a consistent basis? Are you the type of person that is constantly checking their timeline all day, every day? Are you the type of person that has 10 news sources that you go back and forth with all day, every day? Or conversely, are you the type of person that would be just fine with checking into the news to see what's happening once a day? Having this type of information, knowing this about yourself, shows you the amount of flexibility you actually have to control the amount of information you receive on a day-to-day basis. And question number 3, what type of content is it important for you to consume on a consistent basis? Are you someone that needs to know everything or not? Whether it's related to social justice or whether your interests are related to politics or the financial crisis, if you're passionate about one thing and not so passionate about the other things, this is a good starting point because it allows you to know what to pay attention to, what to engage in, and what you can easily filter out and just let go. It's common for people to subject themselves unknowingly to additional suffering, unnecessary pain, simply because they are living lives by default instead of consciously and proactively. Doing this can introduce unnecessary stress and create situations where you now are experiencing depression or lethargy, sleeplessness, discontentment, a bad outlook. The list goes on and on. The 3 questions that I had you ponder earlier in this video were meant to be building blocks that you can then use to create a plan that will give you the opportunity to receive the information that's important to you while at the same time dismissing the stuff that is not important to you and that can be creating negativity, additional negativity in your life. My first recommendation is to be intentional. Decide what you will receive in terms of the information that you consume. Do not allow yourself to be passive in your consumption of news. Okay? That is very, very important because your decision to take in only what you decide to versus passively consuming will give you a little bit of room to check in with yourself. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it necessary for me to watch this, to listen to this? And that little moment of decision can be a clarifying moment that will ensure that you don't take in information that you actually don't care to and that is not useful for you. My second recommendation is to know your limits. Determine in advance your level of participation. We went over 3 questions earlier in this video that should give you a wealth of information here. So you should know already how important it is for you to know what's going on. You should know already how much time you are willing to spend or that it's important for you to spend on a day-to-day basis consuming news and information. And you should also know the types of information, type of news that's important for you to consume. And with all this information, it should be very helpful for you to create limits around the type of content you consume, how you consume the content, so on and so forth. My third recommendation is to be proactive and strategic. This is about completing the plan. The first 2 recommendations that I gave you were more about filtering and dismissing on the fly things that were unnecessary, unimportant, and potentially harmful to us. This recommendation is about coming up with a plan on how you actually engage news in the first place. Coming up with a plan of action in terms of how you decide to consume news in the first place here and going forward. And to that end, I have 2 suggestions. My first suggestion is around the concept of making your pain have a purpose. So with this idea, you want to make a decision up front, a deal with yourself up front, not to engage in negative content without finding a way to make it productive for you, for other people, make it useful somehow. So an example of this could be deciding up front not to engage in your timeline receiving content that's negative, or watching a news clip of some negative news story about politics or whatever the thing is that you deem potentially harmful, without first saying to yourself, if I do this, I have to find a way to make it useful, productive, transform it in some kind of way. You could do something as simple as decide to create a post for your audience that gives some kind of positive spin or some way for your audience to get involved, like volunteer or donate or something like that. But you transform that negative energy into positivity. And that's the deal that you make with yourself before you even allow yourself to receive such content. The second suggestion is around the concept of more purpose, less pain. And with this, the understanding is at some point, if you've been consuming information, there comes a point where you have enough information. If you're passionate about a certain topic, a certain cause, there comes a point where you have enough information and you don't necessarily need to continue consuming. But because you're passionate, because this is something that's important to you, that doesn't stop you from promoting the project, the purpose, the cause. It doesn't stop you from adding value in some way. So the suggestions that I gave earlier about you yourself donating or suggesting to your audience to donate or volunteer, you can still do that without continuously consuming new negative information. And that's the deal that you can make with yourself. Eliminate as much as possible the negativity and just bless the cause that is important to you. Collectively, these recommendations will allow you to take your default behavior and exchange it for something more positive. So instead of allowing yourself to receive negative information without any filters, these new behaviors based on these recommendations, this new plan that you've created will give you the opportunity to take in what is necessary and valuable to you, while at the same time protecting you from a lot of the content that you might otherwise consume, but actually is not so useful to you, is not valuable to you, and is definitely not good for you. Thus, creating a space where you can get the value and leave the trash, protect your mental health. And honestly, we could all use a little bit of peace of mind right now. Hopefully you found a lot of value in this video. I hope you were able to pull a few pieces of information that you can take with you to create a plan that will allow you to create a little bit more tranquility in your life, a lot less stress in your life, and help you better cope with the current environment that we're living in. These are historic times, as I said earlier, and hopefully this video helps you with that. If you're interested in habit development, principles, strategies, so on and so forth, I encourage you to sign up for our newsletter. The information is in the description box. If you sign up for our newsletter, you will get content periodically related to habit development, personal growth, self-mastery. Also, as we have new products and new services, you'll be amongst the first to be made aware of those. And if you are someone who has a particular goal that you would like help reaching, or a particular habit you would like to eliminate or develop, then I also encourage you to go to the description box and sign up for a complimentary private consultation. We have a lot of services that we use with our clients to help them reach their goals, and I would love to work with you if it's a good match. And for everyone else, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Make sure to comment, let us know what you think about this video. Share this content with anyone that you think would find use in it. And with that, I will say goodbye and see you in the next video.